Hey, he's a man about town, Michael. Great to talk to you. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. A jack of all trades.
A jack of all trades. A jack of all trades. Hey, first, I can't believe I didn't even remember to mention this at the beginning of the show. I want to get your take on this. The whole thing that broke yesterday about Vanderlei not fighting Chael. What did you take away from that whole thing?
Well, I mean, my initial thought is that it's just very, very disappointing, because it kind of, I mean, I've got to tread carefully what I say, but it kind of confirms my belief is that a lot of people are taking steroids, and now that they're doing the the random drug testing, people are failing. Vitor was the first, and now you see Vanderlei. I mean, if it's true that he ran away from the test, then that only means one thing. It means he was juicing and was hoping to cycle and have it out of his system in time for the fight. So it's very disappointing. Is it surprising? I don't know about that. I wouldn't go that far, but very, very disappointing indeed.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It was a fight I really wanted to see, and I know we got a little teaser of it with the two of them on the show.
Yep.
And it's like you said, some fighters have piped in, and I don't want to name names of who
Sure.
have also said, that they thought that, Vanderlei and other people, like you said, have been doing things they weren't supposed to do. But
Yep.
do you think that really isn't? I mean, is it really? Is it a question of not who's doing it, but who's getting caught?
I don't know about that. I mean, a lot of fighters, a lot of people assume that other fighters are,
Right.
and certainly when you look at some body types and some people, you do kind of question that because, listen, I train as hard as anybody else. I watch my diet, I lift weights several times a week, and I don't look like some of these guys,
right.
and I kind of wonder why that is because, doing mixed martial arts, the amount of cardio involved, it kind of does eat away at muscle a little bit. So when you see these guys so heavily muscled, you do kind of think, how did it get like that? Now, of course, all different types of genetic makeup.
Sure.
Everybody's different. I get that. But you do question it. And obviously, I'm not sure who said it, but just recently somebody said a quote. I forget who it was. And it was very interesting. They said the on-the-night drug tests are more like an IQ test because basically it's an intelligence test as to when to stop taking your steroids, and I thought that was very interesting because, it kind of is like that, and, as I said at the start, it's just very disappointing for the fans, and I'm sure the UFC are very frustrated because, there was a lot of hype in that fight, obviously, they filmed The Ultimate Fighter together, and people want to see that fight.
For sure. Yeah, and it's interesting, too, because, all along, Chael has kind of suspected that Vanderlei would never show up anyway. So when it came to fruition, I was kind of like, well, I was sort of ready for this fight not to happen just because I guess Vanderlei didn't sign right away. But, I've liked Vanderlei for so long. I'm just like, I wanted to see this fight. I really did. It's disappointing. And like you said, you've coached The Ultimate Fighter. You know that we want that payoff at the end when the coaches fight.
No, 100%. That's what everybody wants. Yes, of course, you invest time and emotions into the contestants, but people really want to see the coaches fight and square it off. And, as you said, Chael did allude to the fact that he didn't think Vanderlei would actually turn up, and I thought, yes, of Chael being Chael,
Right.
But it just proved that, his suspicions were correct.
That's disappointing. But that Vitor fight, it's interesting, but then I went, this just got harder.
Pardon?
I think the fight with Vitor is more challenging. Vanderlei is obviously very dangerous, and you know that, and you fought him. And, well, we know Vanderlei, he's not the axe murderer for nothing. He's a very dangerous fighter. But Vitor, I think, has that added benefit of the jiu-jitsu, which is better, and I believe, Vitor's is more dangerous.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I think that's testament to Chael's true warrior spirit because I think there's no question that Vitor certainly is a tougher fight. I'm not saying, Vanderlei isn't a tough fight. Of course he is. The guy's a legend. But, Vitor in his current form, he's not going to be on the TRT now, but neither is Chael. So, it's going to be an interesting matchup. But, come on. Vitor is certainly a tougher matchup, no question.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, did you get to catch UFC 173? Did you see TJ Dillashaw get the TKO over Renan Barão?
Oh, of course I did, and that was an absolutely amazing performance. Obviously on Tough 14, TJ was one of my students. He was
That's
on my team.
Right. I totally spaced on that. Right.
And if you speak to TJ, he'll tell you at the end of that show, Dana takes us out for dinner. And I was talking to TJ, and I said to him, I said, listen, TJ, you're going to be world champion one day.
Love it.
Because that's how much he impressed me on the show. Now, obviously, it's got nothing to do with me just because he was on my team for a few weeks, but he really impressed me, and I could see that he had the skill set, the determination, the athleticism, everything. And I was right, because that performance against Helen Burrell was just amazing. I know he was an 8-1 underdog with the Buckies, and it was incredible. He beat him every single round and finished him in the 5th, and clearly proved one of the best in the world.
And that's exactly the kind of fight you want. Like, you want a title fight to go deep. You want, you want to push it. And then, the payoff of having the finish, you're just like, yes. And, he what's amazing about TJ is I saw him a couple weeks ago, and, a lot of people, I kind of talked about him, a lot of people said, TJ Dillashaw, it's not a question of when he gets to fight at the title, or if he'll be a champ, it's just when. Some people just maybe thought it was a little too soon. But one thing I get from him, and you can obviously speak to this, he seems like a coachable guy. He seems like he has the right amount of humility, and he just seems coachable to me and ready to learn and ready to go.
Absolutely. When he was on my team, he was fantastic to work with. He was very, as you said, very coachable.
Yeah.
He was hungry to learn. He was eager to train, listen to everything we had to say. I mean, I'll be honest, the guy...